Deftones, My Own Summer, Standard Tuning, Interpretive Method, Guitar Tabs, and Guitar Lesson. I'll play through all the different sections right at the beginning. After that, I'll go back through, give the full explanation for it. Do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to let me know you like this video and want to see more Deftones stuff like this. And now, let's give it a try. Alright, once again, this is a standard tuning interpretive method, keeping it in the same key. And we can do two different ways here. We can do more of a chords-based method, definitely some compromising going on with it, or we can just do a higher octave version of kind of the main riffs and all that. Of course, for this the intro verse, you want to kind of mute the D flat a little bit because you want it to sound like it's being like a let off of the opens, where the opens get cut every time another note happens instead of just ringing over the top of each other. So you want to kind of mute that D flat as you're picking through this, just to keep it muted as we're picking through the notes. So it'd be something like this, where we got the 4 at the A, okay, that D flat, hit it, and then we come down to the G and we do a little hammer on the 5 to 6. Okay, come back to the 4A and then the 6G. Right, then we go 7 on the D. Okay, go between those again, the 4A, 7D. Alright, then we do the 4A, and then we'll hammer on the 6D to 7. And then we finish with the 4A, 7D to 4D. So slowly. And keeping in that same methodology for the chorus, we can do that same kind of mid-voiced interplay here instead. You just kind of want to come off of it and let it ring, get a little bigger and louder, I guess. So it'd be a lot of the same notes there, where we hit the 4A, we do the hammer on from 6 to 7D. All right, and then we do the 4A, 7D to 4D. All right, go 4A, 4D. All right, once again, and then hammer that 4D onto the 6. All right, and then finish with the 4A, 7D, and then a 3 on the D. And for the chorus, of course, get bigger into just the power chords, letting them ring out a little more, and kind of that same deal. We're just hitting like the transitional notes and just excluding like any D flat notes that are in there. All right, so basically we would want to do this where we're on the low set here, the 4 E, 6 on the A and D for that A flat power chord, hitting that, sliding it into the A at the 5 and 7s, strumming that a couple more times, and then dropping down to that G flat at the 2E, 4 on the A and D. All right, hanging out there, kind of holding that for a moment, hitting it again, and then once more sliding it up into the 4s and 6s. All right, And then we finish by doing the A power chord at the 5 and 7s, and then just finishing at the F at the 1 and 3s. And for the bridge section, we're just strumming that that interesting, A with the flat 6 minus the third chord. It's just basically an A chord, but then we just add that 4 on the B with it. Just give it that little, weird funky vibe on there. And it's just down strumming that, for a good 4 measures. And then we do the finish with the power chord at the G flat there, the 2E, 4 on the A and D. And it's just a 1, 2, 3 up to the A power chord. And now to get our, our D flat, where we'd usually just come off to a low D flat power chord, now we can do kind of a compounded power chord version of it just to give it a little more oomph. Try, make it sound a little bigger. Basically, we would hit it at the 4 on the A with the 6 D and G, all right? But just to compensate for not having the low version of it, we can add the extra A flat octave on the E with it, just to give it a little bit more bass and lowness. All right, kind of fills in the gap a little bit there. So yeah, we would land on that, and then just the second time through, we just kind of shift up, the amount of times each chord happens. We do our 3 strums of that F sharp G flat power chord at the 2 and 4s there. All right, but then we do a couple strums of the A power chord at the 5 and 7s. All right, and then come off to a couple strums of that big compounded D flat power chord at the 4s and 6s here. So it'll be all together slowly.